What's up, YouTube? Zan here. At it again. Today's objective is breaking down the head of this this XS650 engine that used to be in there. Basically, what happened is followed the repair manual for this. I got gloves. And everything went well, and I skipped a step that wasn't. Well, I skipped. The step wasn't in the repair manual. Fun, isn't it? So I have to take the valve cover off, and then, well, I got to take all the side covers off first that connect the two. Take the valve cover off, and then I can readjust some stuff internally, which will help with, like, there's little gaps here and here because there's bearings in here, which we'll get to later, that need to be centered, and so does the cam. The cam needs to be centered perfectly, and apparently I didn't do that. So I'm gonna just looking at what I got to do with this thing. I got to take that, like a bunch of the side little panels off, which will expose all the valves, and then I got to rip everything off. And I gotta start cleaning up my workspace over here because we might have some new bikes coming in, so I'm gonna have to organize a bunch of this and then figure some stuff out, including, I don't know if this is some of it. Yeah, I gotta figure out what gauge these wires are for this, because I think what I put on the bike was way too small of a gauge wire, which is causing the wires to heat up a lot more. So that's today's plan. Let's start with these guys. I guess a 10 and 8, some screwdrivers, Phillips, and some. How many tools I'm gonna need? It looks like I need like a 5mm hex for this. We'll get all these side covers off. Oh, we got to take the oil line. This is just a. Usually this way. It's usually so oil. That side. Oil pumps over there. It pushes oil up here. This is how it gets down onto the top of the valves and everything. Lubricates everything. So I got to take this off, and I can't tell. I think this might have been bent when I bought the bike, but I'm gonna clean this up too. It looks like you can scrape some of this stuff off and give it a good cleaning, a little polishing. Yeah, look at that. It's already coming off. I gotta get gloves. So yeah, let's get to that. I will look at a box. I'm just trying to think what else I need to do, and we'll start putting some of the stuff in boxes. Start laying this out. But that's the plan for today. Cool. Let's go. All right, I've got all the side covers off. Valves are exposed. Sides are exposed. Leaking oil right there. Oh, well, I mean, I did just open the engine up, so leaking oil out of these little things. I don't really know what these are. Like why these holes even exist here. I think it's just for lubrication and double checking stuff. I don't know for sure. But probably leaking. Oh, I didn't take these sides off. So, to make a good angle, these little, what do they call it? These little Phillips bolted things. I don't really know what the point of these is. Someone can enlighten me in the comments why I need these on my engine. But they seem to hold back some oil, so maybe it's just enough so you can make sure the lubrication's working. Maybe it's like a sight glass kind of thing, or not sight glass, a observation. Like, oh, if you take these off and you pump some oil through and it comes out, cool, your system's working. I don't know. Not 100% sure on that. So I think I loosened these once already. Yeah, one's just finger tight, one's not. So now we got to take the oil line, the oil riser. I don't know what you really call it. I don't know what the official term is, but this guy. We got to take these banjo bolts out of the top, which are 17mm. I think there's pressure on this. Oh, I think this one might have been bent, so it like I always have to bend. Yeah, I always have to bend it kind of back in place to get it to work. That's why there's pressure. Got some banjo bolts and a copper washer, or 2 copper washers, one under and one on top. So gotta make sure we save those. And I think I'm gonna go through and clean a lot of this engine up again. Now that I'm taking it down apart again, because it worked well for a little while and then it didn't. So we'll clean it all up again. We'll run these through like an ultrasonic cleaner, make sure they're cleaned out, which they are. They're big holes, but I'll clean all these mating surfaces up. And then we have to loosen, I already loosened this one, which these are 20, this was a 22 millimeter. I think this is just a locking. Oh no, that's actually the top of it. Okay, so that's all it is. This goes into there, tightens down, problem solved. I thought I'd take this out too, which looks like this just pinches into this. I don't know, cool. So that's out. Next thing is, I guess, to take the head off, which is all of these, which are 17s. Got to come out, and then these ones, which are probably 14, 13, 14. It's probably in between size. Oh, way off. They just look too big to be 12s, but no, they're indeed 12s. So I torqued all these down. So I bet you these are going to be way too. I'm going to need a. Then it's on our dolly, so that doesn't help. So I'm going to kind of position myself so. Listen, I probably could do this easier with a socket or breaker bar, but we'll do it my way because I'm already here. And then when we put this back on, we're gonna have to consult the repair manual for it, because there's a torque spec and a torque sequence that we have to follow. I was it perfectly, but probably not. And then in my repair manual, I've actually written down Five Twins, who is a guru on these bikes from the forums, his torquing recommendations. Like, Yamaha tells you to torque it down at 1, and he's like, you know, I've done that 100 times, but I find that a little bit more torque in these areas, like torque it down to what Yamaha recommends, and then do it to my spec, and it'll be easier. Okay, so we'll get back to you guys when I've got all this off. I actually might get my small impact to pull these out just because it's faster. So we'll get back when all this is off, and we'll take a look at what's under the head, and we'll talk about the next steps. Valve cover, head. We'll talk about what's under the valve cover. I always do that. All right, got all the bolts or nuts off of this, nuts and bolts, or bolts off of this. So now we just gotta get the valve cover off, and it's very sticky. So I'm not sure if there's something else holding this together, if I'm just losing my mind. It also is, I guess it is coming slowly, but it was, oh, there it goes. I was gonna say there was some gasketing material in there that I used. That maybe I used a little too much of, actually, now that I look at it, but it was my first time doing this. More gaskets, which I put with, oh, they're all right here. There we go. So let's see if we messed anything up inside this engine. Too bad. Yeah, the valve's already fallen loose. I just gotta, there we go. So far it looks all right. Nothing crazy out of place. Nothing bad here. Everything looks all right. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna say we didn't mess anything up too bad. Now I guess the last part of this is it's these bearings here, and this shaft have to be centered in this. And from what I understand, well, from what I'm looking at here, even I can tell this thing is not centered fully. I mean, it's not off by much, but it's off, and that could be causing a little bit of my problem, which I don't know. I actually kind of don't think that's it right now, but we'll see. But to get to that, we're gonna have to take all the tension we can off of this cam chain without rotating the cam chain at all, so that we can then use my words, we can then adjust the cam chain a bit one way or another. So this is the tensioner here, and I should be able to just, wow, why will it not back off? What the heck? Never had that so tight so that it would not move. Oh, maybe because I took all the pressure off it, so it's super duper tight right now. That might have been a bad move. So we're going to loosen this cam chain tensioner up until, actually I'm going to take it right out, if I can get it out. And then we're going to be able to adjust this cam shaft back and forth with, you know, start off with a quick measurement from, you know, tape measure between here and the edge, and then I'm going to get down to like using my, what are they called, my calipers, and really get it figured out and really get it dialed in to what we can get. So once I get that kind of adjusted, we'll get it into a place. I'll talk to you guys about what I did for it. We'll clean up some of the inside of this engine. We'll get it prepped for rebuild, and we'll just keep moving with it, I guess. All right, what I just said, we'll go back to it. Welcome back to the party, YouTube. I decided 3 more bolts, and I can take the, that'd be the head, right? This would be the jug, head, crankcase, jug, head, yeah. I can take this off, the head off, and take a look. Valves all look good. I redid the valve seating, and I don't remember if I actually gapped them. Like, I can't remember what I did with these like a while ago. I don't think I actually put anything in there to really like lap them. Lap, I think is the word. So they might not be 100% sealing, but I do get good compression when the bike is hot. So whatever. So I cleaned this up just a little bit on the underside. I got a lot more cleaning to do on this. If anyone wants to help tell me the correct way to clean all this, like get all this grease out from underneath these. Like, is it high? Do I high pressure? Do I take everything off it, high pressure it, and then call it a day? Do I, like, is there a chemical I use that doesn't? I don't know. If someone knows, let me know. Because I'll break more if it's down if I have to. But I just did. I just took a little bit of a wire brush, cleaned up the heads. There was carbon deposit on them, and that's something I regretted not doing. Ooh, there was some shit on that. I regret not doing that the first time I did this. Was cleaning all this up, but I was much younger and knew a little less about what I'm working on. This is the gasket. It's only been on for like maybe 1,000 miles, so I'm just gonna reuse it. But we're gonna go. I gotta get to make sure I don't put anything crappy back in the engine. But we're gonna go through this rebuild process of putting the engine back together. After I look up how to clean stuff, because I might want to do more of a deep clean. I've got some stuff in the ultrasonic cleaner there just to get some of the crap off the smaller parts. Like I probably should have thrown this in with it. Just get any junk out of the threads. I'm just gonna throw every bolt and nut in there. Maybe even all the covers I have before it goes back on the bike. Wipe it all down first, of course. And then I've got some handy dandy soapy water here that I'm gonna use as well. It's got just some Dawn dish soap in it basically, and hopes and dreams. So we'll clean everything up we can. It's going to get a fresh oil change before I try to run it again anyways. I'll drop all the oil out of the bottom of it. Yeah, I should probably put it back in the engine, or back in the frame before I even do that. Like, get it all back in there, dump all the oil out, put on new oil, and once it's all hooked up, kick it a few hundred times to get the oil all moved through it. And then we will we'll try to fire her up, see if it runs any better. Ultrasonic cleaner's still going with some stuff. Got some of the internals here. I really should find, and I need to get a bigger workbench. B, clean this one up. C, find a better organizational set for this whole area. But we'll get there. I also want to find the carbs, wherever the hell I put them. That's actually terrifying. Wherever I put the carbs, I want to take them a bit apart and see if the internals of those still look good, or if there's any gunk in the bottom of them, and give them a good cleaning. Now that I have an ultrasonic cleaner, I can throw a lot of the smaller pieces in there and really get them cleaned up. And of course, I'll do what I can without it. But we'll get there. So next step is a big cleanup, and then we'll start reassembly, full reassembly. So I think that's going to be today's episode here. This is pretty much the breakdown of it, and we will then restart the assembly. We'll talk about how I do everything as we go step by step. I'll clean everything, and then we'll start rebuilding this. Hopefully, a couple weeks, this will be up and on the road. Just a couple weeks, it's still cold out. Like, it should be up and on the road in like a week, but a couple weeks, let it warm up outside, because this bike really is temperamental in the cold. We'll play stuff. Yeah, if you got any questions, comments, leave them down below. If not, been Zan. Everybody ride safe out there. Keep building your shit. Play with motorcycles. Peace.